Well, here's something fresh. I love it when they cross the genre streams, and for today's offering from French developer Alkemi, we have an adventure game mishmashed with card battle with a splash of rogue. From the get-go, the game gives off this bright, almost Disney vibe with its anthropomorphized talking animals. It's all hand-drawn, bold colors, storybook-stylized characters, but behind the whimsy are serious card strategy elements creatively fused with a darkly themed adventure game. The sum total effect makes Foretales fun to look at and absorbing to play. You play as a shoebill. Now, I had to look this up because, like everyone else in the game, I apparently suck at birdwatching and mistakenly assumed him to be a crow. But you gotta check this out. The shoebill is one seriously metal-looking bird. Anyway, his name is Volpan, and he's a small-time thief who gets more than he bargained for after stealing a mysterious loot that gives him the ability to see into the future. What he sees are various impending apocalyptic events. One thing leads to another, and soon Volpan and a merry band of animal companions whom he meets along the way are swept up in a dizzying stream of fateful events as he tries to prevent the various tragedies from unfolding. It plays out a lot like an adventure game, only with cards instead of walkabout locations. The action takes place entirely on a tabletop, with good ambient effects and animations inspired by the environments you're in. Actions are performed by combining cards in ways that make sense. For example, use the pickpocket skill card on a merchant location, and you'll come away with some food and coins. Your time is spent exploring in this way, exercising your kleptomania, and using the things you've pilfered on other things to build your deck and open up new avenues towards your destination. What I liked the most was the surprise effect of combining cards in ways that yielded unexpected outcomes. The sheer number of possible combinations at any one time makes the game feel incredibly expansive. There is an in-game hint system, which is a good idea, because like any good adventure game, you can get stuck, and without giving you the answer directly, the hint system helps you get unstuck. But so far, I've mostly just been describing an adventure game. It's the layered-in card mechanics that really set this apart, and make it something else altogether. You see, you can't just explore and steal to your heart's content. Your possible range of actions is limited by your current stack of skill and inventory cards. And every time you draw a new location card, there's a chance of spawning a group of enemies from the search party stack. You can only avoid these encounters for so long, and will have to confront them sooner or later, as they block your ability to interact with the cards. The one weirdness was the Fame and Grim, aka Infamy system. At plenty of points in the game, you can make apparently moral choices in how to deal with people. For example, you could choose to send food to a raft of refugees, or steal from them. You could use your fame to scare the guards off, avoiding any bloodshed, or use your blades to send them to the death discard pile. Doing one will garner fame, the other infamy. But while the Stephen Fry-like narrator appears to judge your actions and imply that the Karma Police are watching, the game doesn't appear to do much with your decisions, and both fame and infamy can be used with almost equal effect. Now, this could just be an artifact of the fact that I haven't properly finished the game yet. It took me 15 hours to do one playthrough, and I arrived at what you'd call a bad ending. The game was quick to immediately set me on my second run, because this is where the rogue elements come in. You can take the learnings from your first playthrough, and use them to your advantage as prediction tools for the second time round. While I'm interested in continuing another playthrough, I am forecasting quite a bit of repetition. On the plus side, having a better sense of the pathways through the story should make the second playthrough a little more efficient, and less time-sinky. What's more, there are plenty of paths that I didn't explore the first time, which will be entirely new on my next playthrough. There are two ways to trigger a game over event. You can die in a fight, or use all of your rest cards. These rest cards are spent to replenish your party's cards, which you'll need to do periodically, especially on longer scenarios where you might be struggling to figure out how to proceed. But you have to use them sparingly, so figuring out when to do so becomes another part of the complex matrix of decisions that you're always considering. Choices come at you thick and fast from every angle, and every decision you make opens or closes a range of possible options later down the line. For example, deciding who to take in your party will generally determine if you use more force or more smarts to move through the scenario. The number of possible ways of arriving at the same destination based on different inputs is kind of mind-boggling, and it's a testament to the solid, well-crafted design of the game that it can pull this off so well. The notion of foretelling is not just in the title, but runs thematically through many threads in the game. Picking up a card and hovering it over nearly anything on the table will give you a glimpse of what will happen if you actually choose to execute that move. This is where the game is much more about strategy and the choices that you make, rather than an exercise in random number gaming. There are plenty of inflection points where you can choose to take different pathways through the story and explore alternate trajectories. The game is clear to point out these junctions where you have to choose one or the other adventure, and leaving entire avenues of the game unexplored is great for the replay potential of Foretales. What's more, these choices are meaningful and never easy. Taking one path will usually mean sacrificing someone or something important from the other path. I was initially a judging a book by its cover type of jerk. Foretales has an awkward title that doesn't offer much insight into what it's about, and based only on cover art and screenshots, I didn't really feel like playing a game full of goofy-looking Disney-inspired animals. But Foretales is in fact a grand swashbuckling yarn, with an unanticipated degree of breadth and variety. During my playthrough, I adventured through pirate-infested villages, explored the sewers beneath the streets, and even chartered a boat, and engaged in sea battles. It's full of charm, interesting characters, and a plethora of choices, which always come down to thoughtful trade-offs. The game mechanics are truly unique, and there is a ton of potential for replay value, considering in one playthrough there were multiple adventures I didn't choose to take, that I could pursue on a second run. Foretales is a solid example of a video game that is a series of interesting choices that will keep you engaged for a long time, and it's well worth checking out.